Viewers, let me also share some important facts with you about concerning these visit and specifically this crucial time. Though the JVP has been long known for its historic anti-India stand, the Indian side has made an outreach to Desai earlier last year, inviting him to New Delhi months before the election. Now, the courting of the JPV leader has paid off the Indian government when Desai has made New Delhi his first port to call last December after becoming the president, and gave Prime Minister Narendra Modi an assurance that Sri Lanka wouldn't allow its soil to be used against the Indian interest. Now, that is where exactly the strengthening and the enhancing of the bilateral nations lie at. More significantly, this crucial visit is also circling around how this is scripted as a new era of strengthening relations given a troubled history also that both the nations had shared. The agreement is also going to help turn the page on India's troubled intervention in Sri Lanka's civil war in the form of the Indian Peacekeeping Force, that's the IPKF, that was deployed in the island nation between July 1987 and March 1990. The PM is also going to visit the IPKF memorial in Colombo on Saturday to now pay the tribute to the 1,155 Indian soldiers that were killed in Sri Lanka. All right, Major General Sudhakar Ji is with me live on the broadcast. Appreciate you joining me this morning. Thank you very much for being with us. And as we are in fact going deep into what exactly lies behind this crucial and significant visit, Major General Sudhakar Ji, as I've just shared some details over the kind of past that India has shared with Sri Lanka, given also the kind of contribution during the civil war. What are your thoughts on to how exactly this visit at this point of time when India is heavily investing in Sri Lanka as well, just few years after Sri Lanka crippled due to the financial economic losses in the year 2022. Right now, is this a good time for the India and Sri Lanka to enhance their strategic ties in the view of how China is expanding their influence over the Indian Ocean?
Good morning, Simran. It's a great delight to connect with NewsX when you are the anchor, and one learns a lot from what you cover. Very important question you have raised. All I would say is that nobody can stop China in expanding their dominance and the footprint in Indian Ocean or elsewhere in the world, because it has grown. We have given everything on a platter, outsourced the production of virtually almost everything to China, made it the manufacturing hub of the world for 40 years. Now to decouple, de-risk, these are all semantics. I'm giving a very practical reflection of my thought. So China will come. China will be present in Sri Lanka. They will invest money despite the outreach we have extended. Fortunately, I would say in the growth story of India's destiny, a turning point came wherein Sri Lanka was crippled, and we gave 4 billion or maybe more than that to take it out from the debt trap. Otherwise, the country, the sovereign debt was coming into place. The country would have defaulted in a very serious manner. So we have managed to rescue, but still then, the party issue that you mentioned, JVP, you see, nothing is permanent. The attraction for which they have got the leanings onto China, same attraction again is going to actually multiply and put Sri Lanka in the debt trap. So let's leave it at that. May that not occur the way I am stating. But the basic issue is Sri Lanka is a country which is in the backyard, around 64 to 137 kilometers away from the coastline of the southern India. There is an island, Kathavichu. I personally feel, it is my take, in 1974, we Indians are very gullible, most of us. We tend to, we have no long-term vision, no long-term perspective plan. For whatever may have been the reason, this particular island should not have been given. If I share with you certain things, it will be very alarming. People will say, no, the general is talking through his hat. China is going all out to have its footprint and presence in Kathavichu Island. This is the island where we have large number of our fishermen going off and on, because this used to be part of India. And it was given on a platter in 1974 for whatever understanding. I'm not contesting that. But this is definitely an issue if it can be resolved. I don't think it can be resolved. It cannot be taken back from Sri Lanka, but there is no harm in trying for it. But second most important issue is that it is at the Hambantota port, which was offered to India. Initially, we declined way back in 90s. Then China took it on, 99 years of lease. Fortunately, there is an airport around 18 to 20 kilometers. I have been to this airport myself when I was dealing with the immediate neighborhood in service. And fortunately, as per my understanding and from open sources, the airport has been taken by us just to keep an eye as to what activity China is doing at Hambantota. It's very, very important. We need to actually creep in a not encroaching incrementally, penetrate into the system of Sri Lanka, make our presence formidable, and we cannot actually, displace or throw out China. China is there to stay for whatever reason, but we should be able to counter it effectively so that it doesn't spy on our all activities in the southern India and come start influencing. The technology China which is enjoying today, the technology can be used to subvert the minds of the people. 6G warfare, they're miles ahead. Will take another 20, 30 years to catch up with them. So therefore, your mobile communication, like it has happened in the northern border. So now that Indian government is woken up, it will do good to remain aware of these kind of turning points. China will be a threat from all sides. It will encircle, it is the carried out the strategic encirclement, Indian Ocean particularly, between, let's say, Sri Lanka, Maldives, Mauritius, such like places. Earlier, there used to be one odd ship coming prior to 2012-13. Now there are, every month, there are 7 to 8 ships. These are frigates. There are submarines, used to be one once a while or so. There are 3 submarines which are underwater today. There are spy ships which non-existent earlier. There are 3 of them ships which are actually in the Indian Ocean region. When I say Indian Ocean, between the east coast of Africa to, let's say, the west coast of Australia. This is the stretch and extent of Indian Ocean. And in times ahead, the presence of all these subsurface vessels are going to increase. And more than that, Simran, is very alarming. The civil-military fusion which is taking place in China, it has started manifesting in our Indian Ocean region. Talk about Maldives. Out of the exclusive economic zone is 200 kilometers from the coastline. Okay, beyond that, they have got large number of vessels which are carrying out fishing. And Mauritius, Oman, and Hambantota from Sri Lanka's exclusive economic zone, there are a large number. The last count I had, I was giving a lecture somewhere in a global platform. The count was coming to 260 fishing vessels, which has got representatives of PLA, which has got naval people, plan people. Why have they come here for fishing? Do they have it? They are carrying out hydrographic survey for the submarines to actually navigate this area, dominate Indian Ocean region, so that the strategic encirclement which they have done to large an extent in Pakistan, they are penetrating into Nepal, they are helping. Despite all resistance from Bhutanese government, Bangladesh, you know the situation. Myanmar, we know there is a strategic rivalry between USA and China. Sri Lanka is the hub. I would say, it is the turning point of Indian Ocean, which will enable India to exercise its dominance and also contain and counter any adversarial or forces inimical to national interest of India. Because everything along the East Coast, we have almost all the large number of our research centers of Navy and strategic forces.
Well, all right, Major General Sudhakarji, thank you very much for giving so much context and also add